It's been a joy to watch Accountant Suite grow from just an idea to a product that thousands of firms are already using. One of my favorite things about conference season is getting to know you folks out there in the wild, hearing questions, learning what's top of mind for you and other firms like yours. To bring some of that same goodness, I've got two gentlemen here to answer questions for you. You submitted them through the registration form, online, and other forums, and I'm going to ask them what's most pressing for you. If you were with us at Intuit Connect in Las Vegas, you might recognize these folks. We've got Simon Williams, Vice President, Accountant Segment, joining us, and Ted Callahan, Director of Accountant Strategy and Partnership. All right, let's jump in with our first question. Simon, my first question for you. Tina from California asked, as a CAS firm, we see an increasing number of apps or solutions that promise agentic AI tools. Can you give us insight on the roadmap and agentic solutions that Intuit has planned? She'd like to avoid having to bolt on middleware solutions that will be addressed as Intuit expands its embedded AI.
Okay. I mean, it sounds like a familiar thing that we hear time and time again. Just the amount of applications that people have acquired over time, and they just build up. And the problem with that, and we call it over-digitization, is that you end up having to stitch all these things together. Mm-hmm. So there's a sort of cognitive load in doing that. And there's the orchestration of it. There's actually just the cost of all the subscriptions. And then to compound it all, and this is really, I think the key point is your data's in different places. And actually, if you really want to benefit from what AI brings to the equation, like data is key. And actually having access to it is how you scale. This is very much why Intuit is investing in a platform strategy. And so by centralizing your data, by reducing the friction between the applications, then we can unleash the power of AI and those agentic experiences that she's talking about. And hopefully you can see that in the vision and what we're rolling out today.
All right. Second question, back to you, Simon. A lot of folks asked about Intuit Accountant Suite. What can you share about where we're focused and where we're going?
Well, I mean, this is, and Ted will tell you, this is something I am particularly passionate about, and it's exciting stuff. This is a product that we spent a long time thinking about. We finally brought it to market in the fall at Connect. And what excites me particularly is this is a product that's designed for accountants. We built it with accountants. And to see the product in accountants' hands and the value they're getting from it is great. And we're going to continue to invest in it. One thing I will call out is just double down on what Carla said. Mm-hmm. There are different components to Accountant Suite, but the core version of it, which replaces QBOA, is going to be free and will remain free. But as we go through the year, there's more to come. We've got capacity planning, we've got management, we've got a ton of stuff. And as I said, now's a great time to go and have a look if you haven't had a look already.
We know accountants love to spend summertime learning, trying new solutions, things like that. QBOA does go away at the end of the year, so do it now. It's a great time to check it out when you're not too busy.
Awesome time.
Ted, Roman from Colorado had joined us in Las Vegas at Intuit Connect, and he heard a lot of announcements about the future of the Pro Advisor program, but not quite sure where we landed. We had promised a full update in May, but we've got time with folks now. What can you share? Can you give us a sneak peek?
Yeah, I love the question. As excited as Simon is about Accountant Suite, I echo that excitement about Accountant Suite and Pro Advisor and the next generation program we've been working on. For everybody's benefit, if you don't know, Pro Advisor is a program that we created over 25 years ago. It's been around. It really has defined the industry standard for a program for the accounting community, providing access to education and the training that everybody needs, as well as providing a set of benefits for accountants and even discounts and access to our software. What we've realized, though, is as Intuit has continued to grow and evolve its focus, we haven't kept pace with the Pro Advisor program. And so in one of our most recent Pro Advisor surveys, we do this about annually, we heard from a number of you out in the community, you are not happy with the program. And so we've really used that opportunity with Accountant Suite to say, how could we re-envision this program that would be as fresh and as new as Accountant Suite is to QBOA? What is that next generation program for Pro Advisor? So what we're in the midst of doing is working just as closely with the community as we did in the development of Accountant Suite to create that next generation program that provides you with better support than you've ever had before, which we know is a big pain point for everybody, and taking a really hard look at what are the right incentives. Training, you've seen everything we've been doing with ProAdvisor Academy. We're looking at how we double down there so that we're positioning all of you for the growth for the future.
And we announced that we were going to make changes to the program at Connect.
Yeah.
Maybe you can share what
Yeah, that's a
happens
good
as we
point.
go through this year.
Totally. Yeah, so we announced that it was going to be changing in May. We're going to be announcing a bunch of the change for all of you, and then there will be even more to come in October and beyond.
I'm going to bring the questions back to you, Simon. Our world is evolving rapidly. Data connectors, AI, LLMs, API access. Data is as important as it has always been, and even more so. And in a growing global economy, the risk with our data is also very, very real. Can you talk to us about how Intuit protects the data we have? And not only just securely, are we using our data responsibly with AI?
Yeah, I mean, the short answer is yes. We take data governance and everything that goes around it incredibly seriously, as you would expect from a company like Intuit. We're also guided by one of our core principles, which is integrity without compromise. And so within Intuit, we have a responsible AI team, and their job is really to ensure that we have that governance framework in place, that we meet every industry standard and beyond. It is an area that we take incredibly seriously. I'm not the expert, but if you are interested in finding out more, you can go to our website, and you can see it at security.intuit.com.
I think the most powerful thing to me, going back to the values of Intuit, Simon, is every year we have to take a data stewardship and security course. And to me, the thing that blew me away when I first took that was we don't talk about customer data being our data, it's our customers, and so we're stewarding it. And I thought that principle of stewardship was really powerful and informs the AI policy as well.
Yeah, nice way of bringing it to life.
Yeah, it's interesting. I spend a lot of time with our product teams, and I just kind of thought like, oh, we have data, we have TurboTax, we have all this, we have QuickBooks. It can pull over, but no, like there's very, very strict rules around how you can use tax data to the point that even though we're one company, like QuickBooks cannot see TurboTax data. It's completely siloed to follow everything that we need to do. And when you bring in a global, even as a company who has customers in Canada, UK, it's protected by each country's laws in a way that we follow religiously.
This is true.
Okay, Ted, I've got a question from one of our friends, Dan, in Utah. He'd love us to clarify some of the terminology we're using with AI.
Okay.
We say agents. Some of our agents feel like automation. Other things feel like true AI-driven functionality. How does AI differ from traditional automation? And what are we talking about when we say agents?
Yeah, there's a lot there. It feels like we're in like the digital buzzword bingo portion of this Q&A. So what I would say to Dan and everybody that is asking a similar question is when you think about where AI has come from, which is really that world of machine learning, it is very much all about automation for sure. And so I think that perspective is very apt. The differentiating thing from automation and agents is that agents actually, just like the name implies, they have autonomy, right? They're able to act with their own agency to go do a job for you in the background that you're unaware of. So an example would be, I recently built an agent to go scour the internet for a couple of different guitars I'm interested in buying. And so this literally runs, and no surprise to either of you.
Yeah.
And then it comes back every day with, hey Ted, here's your list of all of these guitars that are now available. So that would be a really good example of an agent out in the world. For closer to home, in QuickBooks, we have our payroll agent, and we've got a bill pay agent. Bill pay agent's really cool. It actually looks at invoices that we have, and then it says, aha, this looks like a bill. And it'll pull that data out and then put it into a bill on behalf of a customer and present it to them. And then say, hey, would you like this to go out and go to your vendor? And then it'll create that bill on your behalf. So that'd be a good example of, here's something doing work on your behalf that then presents it to you for you to say yes. So that would be an agent.
I love that. I think some of this can be, personally at least, I find it a little scary with like up-leveling skills.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to use it more in my personal life, real life, to get comfortable with it. And I had it help me car shop the other day. And I was just like, this is gonna be a silly thing. And then I got a really good report that it kind of disagreed with me on what I wanted, which was surprising, but spot on use for it. Last question for you, Ted. Folks have been hanging out with us for a while today. Nung started off in the morning talking about Intuit Intelligence, how small businesses can use it, how firms can use it. And then Rodrigo and Carla brought us through the latest platform innovations. Some folks may be a little bit newer to AI and Intuit's functionality with this. What's the best way for people to get started?
On the AI specifically?
Yeah, all the innovations.
Or just the new innovations. I see.
I'd say like, all the AI innovations.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thanks for clarifying. I think to me, this is in this community. You all are such practical people. I would stress go start using it, because this is very much just like you were talking about your experience using agents, Jessica. Oh my gosh, your imagination expands as you use these things. And even there was a recent person on YouTube who was demoing Intuit Intelligence. And they were like, ooh, I wonder if it can do this and that. And you could see as they were playing around with the technology, they were like, oh, it can do that. Oh, it can't do that. I see. And so to me, this is very much a learn by doing. The benefit of having more and more people using that is we're learning in real time together with the community. And so the more that the community uses it, the more we're going to learn, we're going to be able to improve it and make it better. So I would say use it, give us feedback on what's working and what's not, because we're eager to learn, and also make sure the system is learning the way that we think it should to provide the value that you need.
You're so wise.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I got to hang out with Nung backstage right after she came off. And she had actually, for those who were with us at Intuit Connect, she'd done a theater session about Intuit Intelligence. It was much more conceptual than versus what's live. And what I learned from Nung that we should carry back is she said the bulk of the people in the audience that were asking questions were like, I just don't know what to do to start.
Yeah.
I don't know what prompts. I don't know how to use it. I think one of the cool things with Intuit Intelligence is like your data's secure with us. Your prompts are secure. So when it comes to this, like it's a really safe place to play. You don't have to worry about like where your data's going otherwise.
Right.
But that was like Nung's top learning from Connect was how much people wanted like, how do I actually go take a step to get started?
Yeah.
Yeah, makes sense.
Well, and I would just say start with something that you already know how to do, and then see what it prompts you to do with that information at the end, because we're actually making recommendations of the next best action you could take based on what's been served up. So that's again where if you just start using it, it'll help you figure out what you might want to do after that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, Simon, one last question for you for today. We'll do this again next time. There's a lot of uncertainty in the industry right now. Some of it's with AI. Some are claiming that AI will replace accountants and bookkeepers. The workforce is going to change. Some of it's very rosy. Some of it's a little doom and gloom. At the end of the day, we believe in accountants at Intuit. What are we doing to bring that to life? How are we supporting the industry? How are we growing the community?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. I mean, and it's a discussion around every dinner table and boardroom at the moment. And clearly there's going to be a lot of change, but I don't think we collectively at Intuit see this as an either or. It's an and. And I think the more we spend time and see how this technology, which is still relatively new, is emerging, we have real conviction that it's the combination of the technology and the human horsepower that really brings it to life. And we talk about a system of intelligence, and that's central to our strategy. That's AI plus HI. And if you haven't heard us talk about HI, it stands for human intelligence, and that is accountants. It's your pro advisors, it's your bookkeepers, it's anybody in this profession is a part of that equation. Because when you marry the technology with the people and the profession, that is really where it comes to life. And that's when the end user, your customer, really gets the best of both worlds and the benefits of both. And it's part of our strategy. And you'll see in ProAdvisor, you can go and get trained on AI and get some confidence in the tools that you're using today. We're also investing in the industry because we've, again, just to double down on the point, HI is so central to it. And Career Lab was, I think, last week now. Certainly recently, and this is the beginning of our commitment to work with higher education to bring more people into the industry. And over the coming years, we've committed to create 1 million new jobs. And those are jobs that might be at Intuit, but we hope they're going to be out there actually filling seats in accounting firms all across the country.
Amazing.
Simon, it's been a privilege to be here for this portion with you. Jessica, thanks for leading and facilitating the questions from the community. And thanks all of you for providing us with feedback and questions. Please let us know what you found helpful and what you'd like to hear from next in our next Intuit Connect On.